Hello. Hello. Unpacking has been packed away. FTL makes its return. Had to take a bit of a break from playing the game just because I had played a few sessions of it uh, outside of the stream and got similarly blown up every single time. So, gonna start a new game and we're gonna see how we do. It was another day on picket line today. This morning, it was very rainy and had a nice little moment at the beginning of the day where, yes, there was a torrential downpour, but our union had gotten us a little tiny, not tiny, a little portable speaker. If I was going to get a portable speaker, I'll probably get this one because it's kind of tried and tested at this point. But I thought I'd play Singing in the Rain. And I thought that was a nice little moment that we had as a group. Where, even though it was a torrential downpour, it was still nice. I can see my stream health doesn't look too good. So I might make some small adjustments, but I don't know if I can do that in OBS while I'm streaming. I don't think I can. I can change it. Let's see. So I had noticed that the graphics of what I was streaming were a little subpar. So I increased the bitrate of the stream. So hopefully that'll make it look a bit nicer. Okay, let us change the name of our ship. Let's make it the Polka Union. And we'll just pray we don't get blowed up. So if you've been following these streams, you're probably aware of how the game works. So I can probably dispense with the usual explanation about the game and kind of just get into it. Not a good start. I'm just gonna take that and just be like, okay, let's take a quick pause and just reset and reassess that. Because that went horribly. That's the thing about the game, is that if you really do start from, like if you go from the beginning of the game and you reset, it's not that big of a deal. And this is the exact same thing that we just had. So we're not gonna go with what we did before. We're just gonna go after this guy. So we'll go after the weapon systems. But yeah, it was a regular day of picketing and a little bit of rain, which was okay. Had some lovely chats with people who I met on the picket line. It's always nice to chat with like people who come around to say hello, and I chatted with like a lot of people today. I'm not like a naturally very talkative, chatty kind of person. So talking to kind of an extensive group of people, groups of people is always interesting for me. But I talk to people, I explain, what our strike is all about. We're not gonna pay that toll. Why does everybody have missiles? Is my problem now. But it kind of feels like everyone's kind of in a similar boat these days, especially when it comes to their concerns at work, our concerns at work. It's a lot of, we don't feel respected, we don't feel paid well, we're concerned about our future, how do we afford to, live in a city like Toronto? How do we afford to live in a city uh, anywhere, kind of in Ontario? So, but people lend sympathetic ears. We chat on the picket line with them. Lots of people come by with kind of like small gifts, things like that. People are very, very, very supportive of our cause. And I think that's been like the most positive aspect of this whole strike has been realizing how much the public really does care about what we do. No. Of course, you always get that person who's like, um, you know, being crappy about stuff. And, I had one interaction like that today. Won't really go into too much detail, but the question really was just, to me, it's like, the circumstances are a little strange what the person told me, but basically my question is that who doesn't want something like who doesn't want fairer wages? You know, who 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 doesn't want fairer wages? Who doesn't want job security? And the person who I had spoken with basically alluded to the fact that someone who they knew might work at the same place that I do, and that they weren't very happy with what we were doing. My response to that kind of thing is that, what we're fighting for is what everybody's fighting for. Whether or not you're a manager or a worker or a journalist or a producer or an educator, we all want the same stuff, you know? We all want respect. We want good wages. We want to be able to have a life. We want to damage our hull and set our ship on fire. It's the kind of stuff that we want, right? Let's wait till that fire goes out. So my response to that person was to just very politely go, okay, thank you for your time. I appreciate you, at least responding slightly to what I was saying. But, I wonder and I question whether or not if that person, whether or not if that person was in my shoes, in our shoes, how they would feel about, what we're going through. That's my question. So, but that's like 1% of the time. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's like 1% of the time of the things that you experience while you're kind of out and about. Everyone is basically super lovely, like almost all the time. And it's a rare occasion where someone is acting not in a nice way. So I'm very, very lucky and very happy that that's been the general experience I think a lot of us have had, while doing this. So we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's trying to get away. Okay. So getting that heavy ion is actually a pretty good upgrade for the ship. My only issue is that it does take up well, I mean, actually, it only takes up one more weapon slot, really. So that's kind of ideal. So if we just upgrade our weapon systems one time, then we can get that weapon going. Yeah, tomorrow again is going to be a normal day of picketing. Our weapon system is malfunctioning. Can you escort us home? Okay. They're coming with us all the way to the next sector. Alright. Okay. Maybe we can get away with just, I don't know, we can't. Somehow they managed to disable our shields. That's not good. Because they're going to be able to get off quite a few shots. 1, 2, 3. Why our weapons are really slow because they have the, what's it called, going. They have their cloak going. But yeah, it's been kind of weird because if you think about time, and I think about time quite often these days, we are now a week, no, 4 weeks into our strike here at TVO, or outside of TVO. And, you know, that's not an insignificant amount of time. I'd love to go to that store, but I don't think we can make it there. That's quite a significant amount of time. Science vessel, fire supply and fuel. Okay, sure. Civilian sector, civilian sector. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's not insignificant, and it's quite a lot of time to be away from your job, and you know, we're gonna have to do a lot of quick work once we get back to things, you know. It will be an interesting challenge, for sure, given how much we've missed in terms of, you know, provincial politics. I produce a show called the On Poly Podcast, where we talk about Ontario politics and give people the sort of 411 on what's going on politically in the province. We go in depth with our stories and as well. And I think right before we had, but right before we went on strike, we produced an episode on the Greenbelt and what was going on there. And as Ontarians might know, a lot has happened since then, since the Bonnie Lysak's report. So we missed out on a lot of stuff, and I was speaking with a director who had stopped down at the TVO to pick up a shirt and pick up some flyers to take with them to TIFF, actually, where they're gonna do some flyering for us, which is amazing. But yeah, and they're a documentary filmmaker and another person to lead. Jeez, okay. And one of the shows that I produce, another podcast, is called On Docs, and that show is all about documentaries. And unfortunately, because of the strike too, we had this whole season lined up, this whole idea to like go to TIFF and do all this stuff. It was going to be very interesting, and I had really wanted to do something on the Nickelback documentary that was coming out at TIFF this year. And unfortunately, that just didn't work out. And you know, at this point, TIFF is basically done. So we're most likely not going to be able to get back to these directors and kind of get them back. So it's another missed opportunity. So, disappointing. But we're going to get back and try to make it work again. Get back to producing all the good content that we produce. including the agenda, including all the educational content that our educators produce, all that amazing stuff. That's what we're going to get back to doing. Fingers crossed, hopefully soon. Possible ship. Okay, let's do this. Okay. So I've never actually used a heavy ion before. So I'm really interested to see exactly how much damage this is able to do to things like the shield systems. If it hits, which it didn't. This is actually not a good situation because if the door systems I have are broken, I won't be able to get the fires under control. So it's kind of essential that I get that going. So their FTL will also be delayed. Gotta get this fire under control. Okay, let's get out of here. Hopefully this quest will be chill. Okay, nice. We just got some sweet scrap. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we've missed out on, and it'll be hard to, you know, kind of get back into the swing of things. But you know, this is our job, and we will get back to it. We're all rearing and ready to go, so hopefully we'll be back soon. Have to give a big shout out to the News Guild, who has been providing our scrumptious lunches throughout the strike too. We get a lot of our lunches from a small place that I know a lot of us at TVO frequent. It's a little tiny cafe just on the second floor of the building that we're in. So I really appreciated their lunches. We could go to a store. We don't really have a lot of stuff here. We could sell an Artemis missile, but it is kind of helpful to have that. The crew teleporter is something that I think is kind of good for us to go for at some point. Shield charge booster could be good too, but you know, between those two things, it's still out of our reach. For now, could be good just to go all in on fixing the ship. We still have plenty of fuel. And heavy ion, I think, will serve us pretty well in the next few battles. So we'll have to see how good this is, because it does 2 ion damage, which is better than the 1 ion damage that normally gets done. So it means the shield will be down for much longer. I think the important thing is to really start to target on these ships. Targeting things like the engines and piloting systems will be pretty essential, because that's what gives them their ability to dodge our attacks. So may have also slightly miscalculated the map. Well, this is a silly fight. Essentially, this thing can't actually injure me because it's all lasers. But if that thing was able to get through our lasers somehow, or our shield somehow, that could be pretty deadly, because I think that's like a somehow like a thing. It's like a Mark II laser drone. So essentially with this like kind of setup, we can go around just disabling the shields instead of actually having to attack it, and then focus on other systems. Those drones are down. Oh, we'll just focus on shields. So we can do these 2 jumps, and then we'll be out of this system. I think we'll go all in on attacking their... not too worried about their weapon systems, honestly. Okay, that's not good. It'll probably work out that this person will probably most likely get away. Because right now we are taking way too many shots from this fight. Yeah, they're gonna get away, but that's... I'm fine with that. This ship kind of did a good job wrecking us just there. Oh, that's not good. They also managed to increase the fleet pursuit, so that means the fleet will be upon us. I don't know if that means that they'll be like already in the next system. I think it does mean that, so that will be a bit challenging. But we will figure it out. I note that on the TVO CMG Instagram account that there's a streeter video of me holding a delicious wrap where I talk about my work on the On Poly podcast, and that has, I think, 7,500 views or something. And my question is why did it have to be that video that gets a lot of views? Like, why? Of all the videos it could have been, it had to be that one where I'm like munching on a wrap. It's a little silly. Essentially in this fight, we are going to be trying to run away as fast as we can. Challenge is that with a crew teleporter, they are able to send over people to our ship. And if I don't attack this way, they will most likely kill my crew members. But that also means that our ship is going to... This is... Okay, missed, that's good. It means that our ship will... the FTL is going to charge a little slower. But hopefully we'll be able to make it out. Yep. Zoltan or Rock? Rock sounds good to me. I think we still have a guy. Yeah, we still have someone here. Everybody, let's go. I think the challenge I'm having now is that we are missing out on crew. Any new ships that we, or shops that we encounter, I think crew will be the most essential thing to try to get. And certain subsystems like doors are not doing very well either. think if we can get up to 5 crew, we should be fine. I'm still not getting that sort of like killer weapon yet. A killer combo that will help us take down the flagship yet. But we will get there. So we're gonna do a loop like this. Okay. Have another challenging situation here. Not too worried about the enemy ship. I don't think they can do much to attack us. Am worried about having their crew come over. So we'll try to disable their teleporter. And send the heavy ion to their weapon systems. And we'll send weapons back to... No, sorry, weapons will go, engines will stay. Oh, stupid, I misnamed them. Okay. It will not be sending anyone our way after that, which is great. And we'll just go system by system until they're destroyed. Okay. Wow, okay. Okay, we have 2 heavy ions now. That seems a bit of a weird combo, but it could work. We could make that work, maybe. Kind of a weird one, but we will save up our stuff for the original idea, which is getting more crew. I still think that's the most prudent thing. So. Curious sight greets your beacon. A disabled rock freighter drifts in space while 2 mantis craft battle it out, presumably over who deserves the spoils. Wait then attack the surviving mantis or ignore them. Let's do that. I don't necessarily want the mantis coming over to our ship. Hopefully that's not what will happen. Looks like we have 1 mantis who wants to destroy our med bay. But that's a really dumb place to zip into because we can essentially heal ourselves while we fight. And because we disabled their oh, they got their own thing. Okay, let's pause. Because we disabled their teleporter, they weren't able to teleport their person back, which means they died. But I guess they might be able to teleport someone else. My wife and I just watched the show called Love is Blind, and the American version of it, where there's just a bunch of really upsetting human beings getting together to torture each other, essentially. The show. That's always entertaining to watch, but then kind of makes you question why would they voluntarily decide to hang out and just like, okay, shit. Why would they voluntarily go onto a show just to like be miserable around each other? there's a version of that show that was done in Japan, and that's the show that we watched first of that, and that was very good, I would say. Like, it was an interesting we need this Artemis missile. I realize that we're low on fuel too. That's kind of crappy. So we got Jack, who's a rock man. Or we got Liu Jun, who's an Engi. I think I'd rather have a bit more, someone a little stronger. And for 2 more weapons, we'll have to get 125 power. Not a big deal. We're gonna keep saving up. Should I heal the ship? Yes. I had neglected doing that in previous fights, previous ones, and that always seemed to backfire on me horribly while playing, so I will try to be a bit better about healing my vessel. I really do find the missile weapons from ships to be like the worst thing when it comes to just everything in general in this game. Like, I really, really hate missile weapons attacking my ship. I mean, that's a pretty good amount of missiles, but we don't have missiles anymore, so we don't need to. Let's get people back. Luckily, most of our crew is pretty well upgraded at this point, so we are able to avoid a lot of shots and stuff, so that's great. I wonder if I can actually rename. Try doing that later. Okay, that's a powerful looking ship. Same as before, we'll go after the weapon systems first. Okay, you and you go attack this person. Hopefully we're strong enough to take this guy down before they can teleport him away. We did, which denies them a crew member. Now I think we go after the shields. Okay. Spend just a lot more time looking at the enemy ship than looking at my own ship, honestly, when I play this. Ooh, nice. Extra weapons are good. Extra crew is also good. Okay, we have to make sure we mark down people in their new stations. And let's see if we can rename our crew people, because yeah, weapons is in engines and engines is in weapons, so we engines 2 and you'll be weapons. And then now you're gonna be engines. Okay. So we've got ourselves 97 power. So we could go soon to 3 shield barriers, or we could upgrade to 1 new weapon and bring the heavy laser online, which could be a good idea just for an extra weapon. Looks like I can do breach and fire. Could be just kind of like an annoyance kind of weapon to have. Annoyance tactic kind of thing. We'll accept that offer. I can see them like gearing up their missiles and stuff. I just did not want to take another couple hits like that, you know? So let's bring online a new weapon. We'll get the heavy laser going. And let's just take a look at that. Heavy laser can wreak more havoc than their smaller burst laser counterparts. Charge time is 9 seconds. And they do 2 damage. They have a low chance of breach and fire, but that's essentially one more thing that we can use to annoy our opponents. Let's get that online. This is going to be a crappy fight. But I don't think they're actually going to be able to get through. Our shields. What we'll have to sort of contend with is the eventual fire that's going to show up on the ship. Hopefully that will get to the fire before it's able to spread. Okay, so let's reassess our targets. Shields are down, their cloak is down. Let's get the burst laser on their weapons just in case. I mean, this is starting to feel a bit more like a powerful ship that we have going. So I'm happy that we've got, you know, a bit more power here. Not happy about the fire, obviously. Okay. Let's go to here. It is hard to sort of time things out, because the heavy laser, if it goes off before the other 2 weapons, it kind of loses its potency. So right now we can just go after, you know, the weapons all sort of at the same time. But again, yeah, that always fires first, right? So if not timed correctly, it could end up really missing out on the its ability to make those little hits that we need. So let's go after this. We don't need more missiles. Essentially, it's like we're using our weapons to create little fires around the enemy ships as much as we can to kind of put them into a panic mode. Ooh, okay. Slavers, don't like them. If we attack them, we'll most likely get another crew member. Sometimes a better crew person. So we will go after the weapon subsystems. And we cross a little breach, which is nice. Maybe that's what the little laser is going to be from now on. Okay, that's good. New crew person. Yaws. Who is kind of random, whatever, but upgrades the, I just realized I spelled engines wrong. No. Don't dismiss. Engines, okay. My eyesight's not what it used to be. But now we've got upgraded doors. It's very important. Zotan or Zoltan or Engi. Let's go for Engi because then we can go to these two sectors here, which should be a little easier. Okay. And yeah, so we've got enough here to go for 2 more engines or 2 more shields. And the strategies I've seen online basically say that it's almost better to go for don't want to go for a Mantis fighter. Let's go for it. Louis, that's a big, powerful looking ship. It's almost better to go for let's see where this Mantis shows up. Bad place to go. It's better to go for like engine upgrades rather than going for upgrades to nice. Okay, so they essentially lost a crew person, but we also lost our ability to dodge. Okay. A little heavy laser is just kind of sneaking in whenever there's like a break in the shields, which is awesome. And let's make sure they can't dodge. Nice. So yeah, I've read that's actually almost better to go for upgrades to your engine subsystem rather than going for shields, because you'll avoid more shots, essentially. So I guess that's the gambit we'll try. We'll see how that goes. The issue again is that the reactor core hasn't been upgraded sufficiently to really power it up fully. But pilot is at max level now, so with 2 more reactor we'll be at 50%, which is pretty good. Okay, free stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Same thing. Okay, so we got ourselves a little fight. And somehow this thing has damaged our our engine subsystem. Let's go for shields. Okay. Okay. This is just going to be a long slog of a fight, I feel like. I also feel like they can't really do that much damage to us, and we can't really do much damage to them, so... Okay. Damage output seems to be a bit of a challenge, so we're gonna have to address that at some point. The only way we're gonna really fix that is by finding a store, I think. And essentially trying to get ourselves... 48% dodge is pretty good. And essentially getting ourselves another kind of burst laser, or going for, yeah, like the idea before, which is the teleporter. So they shouldn't be able to dodge us so well this time. Really, it's about the strategic use of things like the heavy laser. Ooh, nice. Hull Smasher Laser. Takes 3 shots. Requires 3 power. Essentially, that means we would have the Hull Smasher and have the heavy laser at the same time, but means heavy ion would go. But I need 1 more system power in order to have that up. Can't do quite yet. I was kind of hoping we'd find a store at some point in the system, but... Settlement. Hello, travelers. You seem to be outside for combat. Care to take up some mercenary work? Yeah, sure. Rescue the store. Alright. We'll zip over there. And maybe they'll actually sell us something. What appears to be a single damaged ship is in fact 2 ships that have smashed into each other. We can try ripping them apart and see what happens, except now we're up against a completely horrifyingly stacked Engi ship, who I don't like the looks of at all. Let us try our best to win this fight. What is nice is that our weapon systems are charging up very fast now. So we're able to get kind of shots fired off pretty quickly. So yeah, we can really rip through enemy ships now. So that's good. Okay, and we'll just go after their engines. And this fight was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. Shouldn't speak too soon, but yeah. Apparently you interrupted the equivalent of a consolidation of 2 ships. Oh, right, they were trying to... They were trying to mate, weren't they? So essentially not a good thing that we did. That was a pretty bad move, actually. In terms of the actual, yeah, no. Okay, that wasn't great. But, you know, move on. We have found ourselves a place with not much, not very helpful stuff, but we do get the crew teleporter, so that's something that we could go for. I don't think we need 2 heavy ions. We will keep the hull smasher laser. Crew teleporter we could go for. My only issue is that we don't really have good people to send. We have doors. And Shirai, I guess, but then we would end up having crappier shields as a result if he left. Could be something that we wait for, maybe? Reverse ion field is helpful, but I don't know. Let's think. Because this will get us essentially 3 shield barriers, which is pretty good. But we won't be able to power it up quite yet. Unless we take away from our engines, which is kind of besides the point. I think that's the play. Okay. We could go to the distress, but I think if we do that, essentially we won't be able to get to this quest that we're on. So we will avoid that for now. We will attack the Mantis ship, which has a horrifying looking, what's it called on it? Weapon on it. And has quite a huge shield, actually. So I think we're gonna have to focus on that shield for now. Their subsystems are very, how to describe it, extremely resilient to damage. Okay, we got him. Oh, wow, okay, we managed to kill everyone on the ship somehow. And I think that is one of the benefits of going for the teleporter style gameplay, is that essentially if you destroy the life forms aboard the ship, then you get to strip the ship for parts and you end up getting more scrap. So that's pretty cool. Okay, we'll go to the quest, hopefully the distress, and then still make it to the exit somehow. We'll have to see how that goes. Once you arrive at the beacon, you detect a rebel scout assaulting a compound. You're on a nearby desolate moon. Avoid the fight. Engage. We will engage. Let's wait up till everything's charged. And then we will go after, I think, it's drones. No, shields first. No, drones first. And then we'll go after the rest of it. I think weapons next, actually. Or shields next, maybe. Yeah, because essentially we just try to keep getting that, try to keep getting the little heavy laser, just getting in there and do a little bits of damage here or there. Okay. And that's it. Oh, nice. Outpost heals you and heals some of our damage and gives us some scrap. And they are a store. Sweet. So we could get our crew teleporter. Don't think I'm going to go for that right now. Hull beam. Also an idea. It's 2 power. So could replace the heavy ion and would be cheaper than the hull laser. But I still have hopes of getting that online. So maybe I'll hold off. So if we do this, except getting the 2 extra dodge might be better for now. And then fix the damn ship and buy some more stuff. Okay, yeah, well, now there's a store, but we can't essentially go to it. And we don't have any money. That's okay. We'll just go to the exit. Let's see what's up. Ooh. Conspicuous pirate marketings. I remember a time recently where I went after a pirate ship like this, and it completely wrecked me. So I'm just going to avoid that fight for the sake of my crew, because we're doing pretty well right now, and I don't want to screw that up. Alright, so let's get out of here. 1, 2, 3. We are 3 jumps away from the flagship. Things are moving along pretty well. I think essentially the next thing that we're going to do, and I'm probably going to continue this next time, is we'll go for 1 more weapon subsystem, bring the heavy ion offline, bring the hull laser online, and we'll do what we basically did on some previous fights, where we will essentially try to bring down the shields, go after engines, go after weapons, and try to render ships basically like inert so we can take them down. Stretch goal would be trying to get like a crew teleporter before the flagship fight, so I can show you how that works. Essentially, if you take someone like this rock person here and you send them over to fight, they will almost always win against a regular human crew member unless they have fight training, which most don't. So essentially, you send them over to the flagship, you let them sit in the weapon subsystem, and they just go to town destroying it. And I believe if they destroy it there, it doesn't carry on to the second phase of the fight. But you just do the same ploy the next time you fight. So, but I will say that's kind of it for tonight. It was a good day of picketing. This is our 4th week. We've all essentially lost 2 paychecks at this point, though our union does support us financially. There's a link in the description of the video, which takes you to our link tree. There is a link there to a hardship fund for some of our workers who are in precarious circumstances. So if you can donate to that, that would be amazing. It goes right to our workers who need the most help. And we're just going to keep up the pressure until we get a fair deal and we get back to work, because work is what we want to be doing. So until then, we will be likely outside of 2180 Yonge Street, which is the TVO building, though I would say it's more or less the Canadian Tire building, because they own essentially all the floors except for 3 of them. But they're our neighbors and we say hello. So yeah, I will be there tomorrow, likely a bit later. So if you want to drop in, talk about FTL strategies and tell me how I'm doing everything wrong, please feel free to do so. But until then, chill out, take it easy, have a good night, and see you on the picket.